Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Forecast Podcast. This is Alexia Landa, and today we're going to talk about what to feel this week or what you might feel. It all depends. It all depends on where your mindset is, your perspective. And the word for the week is rhythm. Rhythm, as in the vibration, the rhythm of something. Your thoughts give everything a rhythm, it gives everything a direction. And it all starts with the feeling and what you do with the feeling. If you feel happy, how are you going to connect that to whatever you do throughout your day? Does happiness make you want to co-create more for others or give something to others, or does happiness make you just be scared because you haven't been happy in a very long time? So thoughts are rhythm. It's what rhythm you give to life and what direction you give those feelings. Um, and I want to talk about how being unlimited might be a bit different than what is spoken about, because being unlimited doesn't mean that you never use the word no, or that you don't have boundaries or you don't set boundaries. And this past week, as you are truly connecting to yourself and connecting to what you want and how you want things to be, there might be certain scenarios where you have to set boundaries, where you have to um, maybe even recognize what it is that you want or don't want in life. And that means connection with other people, that means connection at work, connection at anything that you do. And many people see the word no as a limitation rather than a redirection, or even the word no as some sort of love language. And when it comes to rhythm, giving your thoughts rhythm, it means perspective. What perspective are you giving things? How do you want to see life? How do you want to view life? How do you want to view everything that happens around you? You can view it as a limitation, or you can view it as something unlimited, but you don't connect the word to the limitation. So if someone says no, you don't say, oh, I'm limited because of that person. You don't point fingers, or you don't point fingers to a situation. You just say, okay, if everything is unlimited, if everything is abundant, the word no, what does that mean truly for me then? So you set a rhythm to everything, which is perspective. So if someone says no, you say, okay, then what is that truth to me? How is no unlimited? How is no truly the best answer I could receive? And also, you start learning how to take care of your value, of your time and space. And you start noticing that sometimes saying yes is actually limiting, because your time as a human does have um, some sort of exchange of energy. So for an hour, you have some sort of abundant energy that you set the direction and the rhythm towards. So if you're always saying yes to something, that there might not be an equal exchange, you're going to start feeling it. And usually that feeling is resentment or it's stagnation and you don't know why. But there are so many rules out there that when you say no, it's not being nice, or it's not being good enough, or oh my god, I can't. So there's that limited belief system. So to be abundant, you have to also be very self-aware of how you're using your energy and what rhythm you're giving it. And rhythm is a vibration of how do you live life? How do you let this physical body express itself? And rhythm is usually very connected to opinions. It's very connected to, well, it's because if I say no, they get mad at me, or if I don't feel energized to do something, I am seen as weak, or I'm seen as this. So what happens? You start thinking that you're everyone's victim, when in reality, you're just listening to their opinions because that's their perspective and that's the rhythm they live in life. But it's not about taking it personal. It's not about saying, oh, since they believe it, I should believe it as well. It's good to be self aware. It's good to notice the differences and not compare, but understand that there are differences and it's okay to coexist with differences. But truly ask yourself, how do I feel about it? Why don't I have energy for this? Do I truly enjoy it or not? Well, maybe I don't enjoy it, but since some things are uncomfortable, am I just avoiding or am I truly not having energy in the moment to do it? So you start truly understanding your abundance. And abundance is that unlimited energy that needs direction by your own rhythm, by your own perspective, by truly deciding the emotion, the energetic motion that I've been talking about. But when you think about rhythm, then you're thinking about everything that's around you. And you start noticing, okay, what do I usually say yes to? If I wasn't thinking about people's opinions, would I still say yes to that? Would I still feel responsible of making them feel um, important or that I do care? How do I truly want to care? What is caring to me? And you start noticing what your rhythm is. Maybe you caring for people looks very different than how they want you to care for them. So it's also understanding those different languages of rhythm. Everyone moves differently. Everyone is a different type of person in life. Everyone uses roles very differently. Maybe you're a friend who's there in a certain way, maybe the other person exchanges differently. So you also have to pay attention to compatibility and not force anything, because forcing something truly drains your abundance. It drains because there is this emotional connection that uses extra energy to be able to be connected, just to try to be compatible, and everything seems to not be enough because there's expectation on both ends. And this happens a lot sometimes when you're in a romantic relationship and you want to keep it, you want to make it work, but since there's no energetic and rhythm compatibility, you're just trying, and even the vibration of trying is already, I'm already giving more than I should, or not even should, but more than I feel I can, or more than I feel I need to, that I feel drained. Now that truly kind of slows down abundance, and that's when you start feeling in this limbo, and limbo asks you to truly realign with what you truly need and what you truly need to be giving and how to give it. And when you start realigning again, you might notice that you want to give in a very different way because you're reconnecting to your essence. And this essence is asking you to just be yourself and not try. Just truly be you. And I'm not saying that in uncomfortable spaces you have to stop giving or stop receiving. No, it's more of you're uncomfortable, but you also feel very limited. You can be uncomfortable and feel very abundant and say, oh, okay, this is pushing me towards something new. This is giving me a new goal, a new commitment. I am connecting to different sides of me I hadn't seen. Uncomfortable is really good. But when you're feeling abundant in a way that you can give without feeling like it's either unnecessary, you don't know how, or everything's questioned, or everything just seems like opinions are the only thing you're thinking about, then you really have to realign and notice how you give, how you want your rhythm to be given. And then you reconnect to that essence. So this week is all about those boundaries because it's very connected to silence. It is very connected to that silence that you keep inside. All those opinions you don't say of, well, it's because I don't want to give that way. Why is that expected out of me? Why is that always twisted? Or all those words as I was like starting, because I never plan what I'm going to speak about, but as I was starting to like set up the mic and just set up everything, it was like, oh, people are feeling limited in the way of expression. And that's in the silence. So, right now, in the month of silence, if you are tapping into this inner dialogue, this self awareness, this inner connection, and you're noticing this voice that is telling you, hey, we're not doing things the way we want to do them, then it's time to reassess and notice what boundaries you might have to place. You might have not been showing people who you truly are because you're not speaking up. So it's time to express that silence. And it has to do with rhythm because you also have to have a perspective that has a lot of compassion and empathy and say, well, maybe I haven't really shown them what I think. I haven't expressed it, I haven't told them. So if they don't know, how are they supposed to be aware? We can't expect or assume everyone to think like us. So it's truly not about blaming anyone or blaming any scenario. It's about being honest, being truthful, and expressing. And I do think rhythm has a lot to do with the way you move. Notice if you move differently with certain type of people and if they trigger you in any type of way. Maybe it's very connected to an insecurity or connected to something that you don't know how to speak up about. And instead of saying, "Oh my god, I'm being attacked," remember, you're not a victim, so see them as, "Oh, you're just teaching me." And I honor you as a teacher. So if you're my friend, if you're my partner, if you are whoever you are, then I should feel safe to speak up and tell you how I feel. And if they don't take it the right way, you can also give them space and time because they might be learning this new way of expression as well. They might be learning that they can speak up as well. Maybe they have something to tell you too. You never know. So this week is all about that abundant way of expressing yourself and speaking your truth without feeling like you are going to lose anything. I think you actually gain. That's abundance. You gain the ability to be you and express you and be understood or not even understood. Don't expect to be understood or be listened to. All of this is going to really help you realign and reassess and be like, oh, this is the person I need to be because this feels so natural. This just feels so good. This truth just truly opens up my chest. I can use my chest voice. I can use that voice that comes from love and care. And usually what people feel heaviest about is all those expectations from others, but sometimes it's not even that others have expectations. It's that there's assumption in between on both sides. So the first thing I'm going to say, avoid assuming. And there's this very fine line and difference between assumption and intuition. When you assume, it's usually something very repetitive. It is usually something that you always run into. When it's intuition, it's very subtle and you even sometimes question yourself a little bit. So if you're assuming, try to really understand what the root cause is. Why do I always run into these type of people? Why do I always connect to these type of people? How can I understand myself instead of wanting them to understand me so I can speak up and express myself? And maybe they'll say, oh, I just didn't know. You had never told me. But thank you for expressing. And if they take it in a very different way, then you might just have to heal those type of relationships and understand you're maybe just not compatible. So expression is a huge thing, and deciding the rhythm of that expression, it's very important. Very, because I want everyone to think of us as dancing through life. We're dancing through life, and the song is our thoughts. That's what they are. Our song is our thoughts, and as we're dancing through life, we're understanding that it's not about us. Whatever others say, whatever others think, it's not about you. We can't take things personal. That's a huge, huge factor this week. Don't take anything personal. Truly value why you're thinking a certain way or what you're thinking about. And let go of, well, it's because they're probably criticizing me about this, or they probably think this of me. No, ask. If you really want to know, ask. Be open. This week is all about truly being open of receiving and giving as well, because giving the truth is a very powerful thing. Giving the truth, you might even, I don't know, recognize someone that help them recognize something about themselves that they hadn't, something beautiful or something that's a bit tough to swallow. But when you say it with grace and you say it with respect and you say it in a way that there is communication and connection, then there might be a shift there. But you do have to say it with the intention of not wanting to be right and be like, I'm right and you're attacking me. But with the intention of openness and, hey, you know what? I feel this when you say these things. I just want to clarify what is truly going on. I just want to clarify that I don't like that. I'm not compatible with that type of conversation or connection or whatever it is. And who knows, maybe they might say, oh, I'm sorry, didn't know I was saying it in that tone. Or, you know what, it's because you do it as well, but you maybe just don't notice. Who knows? It can go in a million different ways. So it's about truly being self aware and understanding that speaking is a very powerful thing, expression is a very powerful thing, and the truth is a very powerful thing. It holds a lot of power and it holds a lot of love, unconditional love. It's just very important that you do it with the right intention. Intention is key through this process. And just the whole week is going to feel kind of like slow, but not in a bad way, in a way of a lot of observation. We're going to keep going, keep using that tool of observation, of rhythm, of what rhythm am I giving these thoughts? Why am I thinking this way? Why do I always think people think of this of me? It just means I think that of myself. So you're going to start truly realigning and disconnecting from something that's so repetitive and understanding that you don't have to stay in that role, you don't have to stay in that thought or that way of living if it's limiting you. Because the goal here is to connect to that abundance of spirit, that abundance of all the feelings and emotions that are available in life. There are so many, and your spirit is ready to truly experience all of them, not have the repetitive ones every single day. I personally have a way of um, truly connecting to a different type of rhythm, and I love using music. Music to me is such a great tool, and I've talked about dancing meditation. When I wake up, I set an intention, and then I dance, and I shake the vibration off, and I choose my emotion. But I also, when I feel very stagnant, to me obviously walking meditation is a huge one, and if I truly feel like there's a lot going on, if you have access to driving, I'm kind of gonna share something personal, but when I was really young, my mom used to sell clothes. I mean, she has clothing stores and she used to sell clothes in her car. So she started when I was like 5 years old, and we would sell it in a car. We would have these bags with clothes and we would go around. We would see nail salons. We would see just anywhere where we would see a lot of like women. And we would stop by and say, hey, we have clothes, we have purses. Do you guys want to see them? We sell in installment payments. Like it was our thing. And it was every Saturday, it was the day where we would go and show everything. And it was our day. It was our thing. I loved working with my mom because I would get to see her just truly hustle, be that powerful woman hustling, doing her thing, being, motivated by herself and so independent. And besides being able to see that, we had so much time in the car listening to music. And I think one of the ways we would communicate was with music. And as I grew up, I started noticing my connection to music was very deep. Not because I'm a musician. I think musicians, it's at another deeper level, obviously, but more of a being able to understand my feelings. Because the songs you start listening to, if they're repetitive, it's because it's a repetitive emotion or feeling. And I remember being in the car, and depending on we had CDs back then, and we would have mixed CDs where there were a bunch of songs from different artists and all these things. And I remember being in the car and noticing that the movement of the car and the rhythm of the song just felt like it was helping me push something. It was helping me truly detach from certain things. So I would always look forward for that Saturday, depending on, obviously, I was really young, but if something would happen, if I would get sad or just any type of emotion or feeling, I was waiting for that moment in the car to just feel free to dance and sing in the car and get my thoughts cleared up. So it was like me choosing the rhythm for the next week. And it started truly being a tool for me. And then I started doing more of dancing meditation because I started noticing that it was something that was done so natural that I'm sure everyone here does. But there's this connection to transmuting, kind of like transforming your thoughts and choosing another type of rhythm when you're listening to music that is so powerful. So you really have to be wise of what type of music you want to listen to. If you're really sad and you want to shed all that sadness, listen to a sad song. You're going to cry, you're going to feel, and you're going to release. But don't attach to it. Don't attach to keep feeling the same thing. Because then you're not moving on and you're not releasing, you're not detaching. And as I got older, then my sister got to experience that with me. Every time I would pick her up from school, I would say, "Hey, we're gonna have." Back then, I had a Honda, so it was like, "Oh, we're gonna Honda clubbing." So it was the Honda clubbing time, and I would put on music, and I would start truly moving her feelings and her emotions because I was intuitive and a channeler, or I am. So I would notice that there was something going on, and I would pick the songs correctly until I got to the happy song, and I had uplifted her feelings. And then I would tell her, "Hey, share with me. Now you don't have stagnation within, so now you can share what happened." And she would start speaking, and she was so detached from what had happened an hour before in school when the little girl didn't want to be her friend, that she had already let go, and it was already transformed into something else, into that emotion of happiness, emotion of joy, emotion of, "Oh, it's fine, it's the past." So, and then she got into her teenage years, and it was way easier to speak to her, um what she is now, 15. So it's just easier to take her out for a drive and put on music, and the movement and the songs just start shedding all those emotions, and it sets a rhythm that's your choice. And obviously you can do this without music, but it's just such a good tool to use. And now, even my brother, I think that what we share the most is music. I have this very special time when I was going to travel, and it was like a big breakthrough for me in many ways. And he sent me the song where it was like he just made me cry. He could have told me those words himself, but the song made me cry because it was like a message he was sending. So the reason why I'm saying this, it's because rhythm is so important, and I want everyone to understand that what you're thinking is a song that you're repeating constantly in your head, in your mind. So you have to really decide what song that is. Why do you want that song to be it? What is your song about? If your song is about someone who's a victim in life and it's always sacrificing something or hurting themselves, then think about a song that has that. And you're going to say, "Oh, well, that song makes me feel this way," or "that song carries this emotion," because any rhythm is energetic motion. Then that's the song you have within, and that's what life is going to truly emotionally be like. But if your song is very happy and optimistic and it's towards this just fulfillment or purpose or authenticity, and you listen to a song that is about that, then you know that's the rhythm of your life, that's the emotion. And I'm not saying be into toxic positivity at all. I'm just saying there is a choice. And if you go into this really sad song for a minute, I want you to feel the song, go through the emotion, but then be able to tune out of it, change the song, because that's where the abundance is. That's where you're spending your energy. And our thoughts are very connected to opinions sometimes. This week is all about that. It's all about the opinions, the ideologies, the beliefs. They said they saw me this way. They view me this way. It's all about they. I want you to come back to me. Not because everything is about you, but because I first want everyone to understand what song are they playing in their mind. And if going for a drive with a good song, playing it over and over again as you push through the energy as you're driving, because I think that the feeling of the feeling and the vision of seeing things just pass by you is so powerful. Do it. If going for a walking meditation is really helping you move that energy, do it. Dancing meditation, do it. Usually, walking meditations, I just use classical music because classical music is just so connected to nature for me that it really helps me just vibrate differently. So it's there's so many options and so many ways to do it, but speak up, express yourself, do it freely, and do it consciously. Do it with that empathy of I'm not trying to get my truth out because I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm empowered. I want to tell you everything and look at me, I'm strong. I'm talking loud. No, it's about hey, I care so much about you that I want to share because I think I care about everything you think about me. I care about everything that you have opinions on. I truly care. But since I can't give you the responsibility of making me feel good, I can at least express myself and let you know that maybe this is uncomfortable to me. And that's unconditional love. Truth is unconditional love. And that will connect you to authenticity because you're really going to notice how you speak up and how you express yourself. So it's really about releasing the heaviness of I shouldn't say this or I should say this. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the easiest thing you've ever done, and the person's really gonna receive it like, oh, okay. I just didn't know. Or the scenario is going to change. So it's really about using your voice for you because sometimes it's not truly used to express, but rather to repeat. And a lot of people tell me, well, it's because they don't listen to me. I speak and I talk and I repeat the same thing over and over again, and it's like they don't listen. And it's like, well, maybe sometimes it's because we don't know how to express ourselves, or because that person is so used to you repeating, but not truly actioning, that to them it's like, oh, this is normal. So also notice if your expression is connected to action, because you can tell someone, I want you to value my time, but then if they see your actions are not connected to valuing your time, then it's like you didn't say anything. Expression and action have to be connected to have some weight, and that's abundance. When you say you work a lot and you truly work a lot, then the evidence is the action, not the saying it. So always be mindful of how you're actioning and how that's connected to your expression, to your words, because they go hand in hand. They're best friends. They're a team. They can't be separated because if they're separated, then one is missing. And if you're actioning and not speaking and you kind of want everyone to know because no one notices you, then I need you to notice yourself. And also say, well, I need to speak up. Not because I want everyone to know what I'm doing, but maybe because there's certain people that don't notice and I need to speak up. So, expression and action are key this week. And I'm just very grateful for everyone who just comes back and listens to this and all the emails and messages. It truly makes me so happy to be here. And I'm very grateful. I'm very excited. I'm going to be in New York October 19th. I am going to give it's more of a mini conference. That's what I want to call it because I really want to share, and it's all going to be about connecting to being a co-creator, to worthiness, to understanding how to connect to this abundance I'm talking about, how to connect to this ability to truly receive what you need. And once you receive what you need because you know how to receive, you get everything you want. And I'm excited to meet all the New York babes. After New York, it's LA in December, and I have many more surprises coming. And yeah, just very excited. I am learning how to receive as well. And I think it's very important for me to share because we're all on the same ride. Yes, I'm a channeler. Yes, I'm very intuitive and I love what I do, but I also have my experiences. I also have these moments of, okay, how am I receiving? I need to realign. How am I giving? Why am I giving? This is a very human experience that we're having. And all I want for people to know is that being human is so powerful. So, so powerful. And it's all because we are co creators and we come from a creator. So as we co-create and we learn how to be a team, life starts getting very easy. But first you have to be your inner team, understand yourself within to be able to understand people outside. So there's this connection of wanting control. And I think wanting control is just wanting to understand before it happens or wanting to understand before you even learn. So I invite everyone to just receive their experience of being a student as the biggest blessing there is. Because that's where the fun is. That's where the experience is. That's where the connection is. That's where you truly learn who you are and you connect to your authenticity without wanting to control your authenticity, but rather live it and experience it. Surprising yourself is just so amazing. And I want everyone surprising themselves. So thank you everyone for being here. I will be coming back next week. I will be on stories, Instagram, sharing as much as possible. And I hope everyone has an amazing week. Sending love and light to everyone.